वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिए जे पीड़ पराई जाने रे। वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिए जे पीड़ पराई जाने रे। पर दुखे उपकार करे तोए मन अभिमान ना आने रे। वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिए जे।
This year holds a special significance as we celebrate the centennial anniversary of my father Ramkrishna Bajaj, the visionary behind the establishment of the Jamnalal Bajaj Foundation in 1977. Today I feel honored to share reflection on this remarkable occasion and on the enduring legacy of my father. Today we also pay tribute to the commitment of my father, and after his passing away in 1994, Rahul Bajaj, who steered the foundation for 28 years. Continuing their legacy with the same dedication, I assumed the role of chairman with a great sense of responsibility, aspiring to follow in their illustrious footsteps. Our gathering today is to felicitate and congratulate 4 exceptional awardees. In a world often troubled, our awardees stand as a beacon of hope, demonstrating that more than financial resources, it is the human will and character that shape outcomes.
Jamnalal Bajaj Awards are instituted to purely serve the ideals of Jamnalal Bajaj and to felicitate the Gandhian warriors who are committed to inclusive development and who have endlessly dedicated their lives for the betterment and progress of the marginalized communities of our country. This year is a special year for us as we celebrate a century of vision and legacy of Ramkrishna Bajaj, founder of the Jamnalal Bajaj Foundation. He was at the forefront of social change, who set up the foundation on behalf of the family to fulfill the ideals for which Shri Jamnalal Bajaj had dedicated his life, thus giving a deeper meaning and value to the vision and objectives.
1992 में डॉक्टर रेजी जॉर्ज और डॉक्टर ललिता रेजी ने तमिलनाडु में स्थित सतलिंग की घाट के ट्राइबल हेल्थ इनिशिएटिव की स्थापना की और एक छोटी सी झोंपड़ी में उन्होंने पहला अस्पताल व रुग्ण सेवा यूनिट का आरंभ किया। डॉक्टरों की इस जोड़ी ने स्वास्थ्य को अर्थव्यवस्था, आहार और शिक्षा में जोड़ दिया है। इस उपक्रम में अंतर्गत उन्होंने जनजातीय कला और पुनर्जीवित की तथा जैविक किसान की सोसाइटी गठित की है, जो उस वनवासी समाज के समग्र सशक्तिकरण में सहायक रही है। लंबी अवधि के से चल रहे इस कार्य की बदौलत क्षेत्र में वनवासी समाज आत्मनिर्भरता की तरह राह पर है, जो स्थायी विकास के गांधीवादी सिद्धांतों के अनुरूप है। जमनालाल बजाज फाउंडेशन रत्नात्मक कार्य के क्षेत्र में प्रशंसनीय योगदान के लिए डॉक्टर रेजी जॉर्ज और डॉक्टर ललिता रेजी के सम्मानित प्रशस्ति पत्र और जमनालाल बजाज पुरस्कार प्रदान करते हुए गौरव का अनुभव करते हैं।
It is the recognition of a tumultuous journey where we stumbled and fell many times, but persisted to experiment a unique vision for the medical community on what doctors could do if they wanted to. We started our work in Gandhigram near Madurai after our studies, and during our routine clinical work realized that sickness work is vastly different from health work. Working with empowering communities was an idea we picked up in Gandhigram. The idea of people taking control of their lives. and Gram Swaraj. We searched and found an isolated tribal area in the Sithalingi Valley in Tamil Nadu and started working with Adivasis who lived there. From starting off with a small mud and thatch hut built by the Adivasis to a full-fledged secondary care hospital, from empowering women to take care of their health, we have come a long way. We sat down with the community and extended our work to include organic farming collective of 700 farmers, a women entrepreneurship group with 485 women, and a Porgai Artisans Association of 70 artisans. While doing the watershed development work in some of the drought years through Shramdan, we realized that real people-centered development can come only through good governance. We started with a mass mobilization for governance, ended up by winning the Panchayat elections in 2019. Thus, we have the Adivasis now governing themselves sans any political affiliation. We stepped back and realized that perhaps this is what Gandhiji meant by Gram Swaraj.
Dr. Ramalakshmi Datta, a committed scientist, community mobilizer, and a self-motivator, has taken the application research in biotechnology to the Sundarbans for rural development. She strives to demystify the intricacies of biotechnology, particularly tissue culture, with the participation and involvement of village girls and women. Dr. Datta's contribution to banana and elephant yam tissue culture has evolved as a grassroots biotechnology. Dr. Datta's work is truly remarkable from the perspective of making scientific research accessible and beneficial to small farmers and rural women through actual participation. Jamnalal Bajaj Foundation feels honored to present this citation and the Jamnalal Bajaj Award for the outstanding contribution in the field of application of science and technology for rural development to Dr. Ramalakshmi Datta. Thank you.
The area of work has been agri-biotech and its application for the rural community. The challenge was to simplify and demonstrate the relevant agri-biotech technologies. We did it for plant tissue culture and made the rural girls realize that they can use it for the benefit of the whole community. A team of 8 girls from the village joined us in our journey. They were taught media preparation, culture initiation, multiplication, and data maintenance. Competency has been the key word of focus. The village girls turned into tissue culture lab technicians, attaining the competency. They started with banana. Now they are able to standardize protocols for different crops as the farmers in the region demand. The concept of plants being grown inside the closed bottles was quite a new thing for the people in this region. It needed a demo to show that the banana plantlets growing in the bottles were like the banana plants that grew in their backyard. For this process, training was required for nurturing or hardening of the bottle plantlets. A group of village women were trained on nurturing these plantlets and they took up this work. And finally, the benefit reached around 10,000 farmers.
Sudha Varghese is a champion of Gandhian philosophy and social transformation. She's a living embodiment of Gandhian principles of service, empowerment, and self-reliance. The core of her work to uplift the Musahar community for self-reliance revolves around education and empowerment. Sudha Varghese paved the way for women to rise above their traditional roles, from being landless laborers to proud landowners and pioneers in unconventional fields, such as creating the first all-women music band in Bihar and facilitating the entry of the first women-driven auto rickshaw driver in the region. She has consistently raised her voice against injustice and atrocities targeting women, children, and socially marginalized groups. Her journey of 6 decades has been a proud testament to the transformative power of Gandhian ideals in shaping lives and communities of those most deprived. The Jamnalal Bajaj Foundation feels honored to present this citation and the Jamnalal Bajaj Award for outstanding contribution in the field of development and welfare of women and children to Sudha Varghese. Thank you.
The Musahar community, I focused working with this group because I found they are the most deprived and they are the ones who need help the most. I left my home seeing this community's picture. This community, several families living on the roadside in shattered huts. And I wanted to find out really why this poverty and why such a huge group of poor in Bihar. I also asked myself, what can I do for them? So, indeed, it was a challenge to come across a community deprived of all the parameters of growth, progress, and development. They were landless, illiterate, untouchables. They found themselves living in shanty huts. We started working with this community called Musahars because they hunt rats and they eat rats. We started working with them in 1987. First we targeted children who could be in the school. They could not go to school. They did not like going to school because they would never get treatment like all the other children.
Raha, Naba, Kumar, following the path and teachings of Mahatma Gandhi, draws inspiration from qualities of selflessness, adherence to peace, and the freedom movement. In a world often marked by turmoil and discord, he strives to follow and propagate the values of compassion, empathy, and social justice through all his deeds. Forming small groups of poor people, training them in different skills, creating awareness of human and women rights, providing support for education, ensuring safe drinking water and sanitation facilities, agricultural activities, helped create accessibility in the community. It is laudable that he continues to work in Noakhali to revive Gandhiji's thoughts and to apply the constructive work program with people's participation for their benefit. The Jamnalal Bajaj Foundation feels honored to present this citation and the Jamnalal Bajaj Award for the outstanding contribution in the field of promoting Gandhian values outside India to Raha, Naba, Kumar.
I am from Noakhali, Bangladesh, where Gandhiji visited after a terrible communal riot in 1946 to restore peace and harmony among the Hindu and Muslim community of the area. About 30 years back, I joined the Gandhi Ashram. Gandhian like Sri Charu Chaudhuri, Sri Vishwaranjan Sen, Reddy Polli Satyanarayan, Srimati Jharnadhara Chaudhary, who received this award in 1998, inspired me on Gandhi and his works. And from then, I am working to promote Gandhi ideology in Bangladesh. Initially, my journey was not so pleasant. Sometimes it was life-threatening. I had to cross so many obstacles, but finally, community people choose me as their friend. Once those who created obstacles for me, now they come to support us in all sorts of programs. Now if you go to any village of Noakhali, they will and ask about Gandhi Ashram, obviously they will say that it is our organization. So this change has been come to the community people of Noakhali and other parts of Bangladesh. But still, long way to go for the sustainability of our activities. I have a plan to establish an educational institution where people will receive higher education on Gandhian studies, peace, non-violence, etc. I have a plan to establish a hospital for the most disadvantaged people, and there will be a unit for naturopathy treatment. At the same time, the community service needs to continue so that poor and marginalized people can get better service and can establish their rights and title and can live with dignity and peacefully.
हमारी संस्कृति के आधारों में या हमारे आध्यात्मिक बुनियाद में तीन चीजें हैं: ज्ञान, कर्म और उपासना। गहरे अर्थों की बात नहीं कर रहा हूं मैं, लेकिन सामान्य अर्थों में हम देखें कि जो नॉलेज आज, जो ज्ञान आज व्हाट्सएप के जरिए, सोशल मीडिया के जरिए और बहुत सारे माध्यमों से हमारे बीच में फैलाया जाता है, उस ज्ञान में, उस नॉलेज, वो नॉलेज तो नहीं कहना चाहिए, वो तो इन्फॉर्मेशन है, लेकिन हमारे भीतर वो बस जाता है जिसमें घृणा है, जिसमें तिरस्कार है, जिसमें एक दूसरे की खिलाफत है, बिखराव है, बहुत सारी चीजें हैं। तो लेट अस थिंक दैट हाउ वी आर गोइंग टू टेक ए फर्दर स्टेप व्हेन वी आर डीलिंग विद द नॉलेज। एक तो नॉलेज, पहले तो जो सबसे बड़ी ताकत है उसको डेमोक्रेटाइज करना जरूरी है। साइंस को, टेक्नोलॉजी को, नॉलेज को, उसका लोकतंत्रीकरण हो ताकि उसके माध्यम से पावर का, ताकत का विकेंद्रीकरण हो सके, ज्ञान का विकेंद्रीकरण या ज्ञान का लोकतांत्रिकरण। लेकिन साथ साथ ये भी जरूरी है कि वह ज्ञान उन मूल्यों पर आधारित हो जो हमें इंसान बनाते हैं। वेद में हमारे यहाँ कहा मनुर्भव, मनुष्य बनो। बाद में बनते रहना हिंदू मुसलमान, बाद में बनते रहना भारतीय, पाकिस्तानी, अफ्रीकी, अमेरिकी, पहले मनुर्भव। दूसरी है कर्म। When you feel the suffering of others as your own suffering, when you feel the problems of others as your own problem, with a deeper drive to take action to alleviate that suffering or to solve that problem is compassion. हमारे कर्म काहे से प्रेरित हैं? स्वार्थ से प्रेरित हैं, लोभ से प्रेरित हैं, घृणा से प्रेरित हैं, या उपासना की तरफ जाने से पहले हमारे कर्म करुणा से प्रेरित हैं? और तीसरी और आखिरी चीज उपासना। उपासना मनुष्य मात्र में, प्रकृति की प्रत्येक वस्तु में ईश्वर के दर्शन करना और उसके नजदीक जाना, उससे प्यार करना, उसका सम्मान करना, उसकी रक्षा करना, हर भेदभाव से ऊपर उठकर, वही तो उपासना है। गांधी जी ने जीवन में हमें ये सार्थक करके दिखाया और ये हमारे लिए एक बहुत बड़ा एक संदेश, यूनिवर्सल एक मैसेज है। मैं कहता रहता हूँ, मैं अपनी बात वही कह के समाप्त करता हूँ कि वी हैव ग्लोबलाइज्ड मार्केट्स, इकोनॉमीज, नॉलेज, इंफॉर्मेशन, टेक्नोलॉजी। We live in the age of an era of globalization, and we are proud of it because we have attained so many milestones. But dear friends, sisters and brothers, this is the time to globalize compassion. And if India will not lead, who will lead? If the land of Buddha and Mahavir and Gandhi and Rama and Krishna and Guru Nanak Dev and so many awliyas and fakir, if we are the land of those people and if we are not going to lead the new era of globalization of compassion, who else will do? It should start now.
Just a few days ago, the Vice President of India said the following about you, sir, and I quote, Chief Justice D.Y. Chandrachud is in mission mode to secure, particularly for the marginalized sections, availability of legal aid and access to justice with ease. Sir, he also made a special mention about your affirmative, innovative, people-centric initiatives that are turning out to be game changers for the vulnerable segments of society. In this context, I go back to Gandhiji, and his two quotes are most pertinent. The first is, I quote, justice should become cheap and expeditious. Today it is the luxury of the rich and the joy of the gambler. This is what he had said long time ago. And the second is, I quote, the first condition of non-violence is justice all around in every department of life. I also wish to pay homage to Sri Ramkrishnaji Bajaj, whose centenary year we are celebrating. Ramkrishnaji personified and championed Gandhian principles of trusteeship, ethical governance, and Swadeshi all his life. I recently visited the amazing exhibition created by Minalji to illustrate the illuminating life and work of Ramkrishnaji. I was so inspired that I suggested that it should be taken around the country to inform, to inspire, and to influence our next generation with the way the values of equity, ethics, and equanimity that Ramkrishnaji had practiced throughout his life.
Now, what do we mean by infinity? Science will give us a different description of infinity. Human beings have a different definition of infinity. Men and women of religion give us a different view of infinity. But infinity really is that we submerge our own sense of ego, our own sense of existence in being of service to others. And when we are of service to others, very often we are of service to others, and those others are truly people we may or may not ever know or even come into contact with as personal friends. Of course, many of the awardees have worked within the communities and know those communities. But it is this ability which is so truly unique to our culture, namely the ability to allow yourself to recede into the background and to allow it to be overcome by one unique and overpowering commitment to do good to others who are less fortunate than you, which truly marks us out as a civilization. And what better way to commemorate that sense of purpose than these awards which have been instituted by the Jamnalal Bajaj Foundation. The Jamnalal Bajaj Foundation, which was founded in 1977, is to my mind a living testament of the enduring legacy of its founder, an icon celebrated for his humanitarianism, philanthropy, and unwavering commitment to social reform. Rooted in the ideals he held dear and the Gandhian ideology he fervently pursued. But I am truly honored and privileged to be a part of this event, because this is an event which I have looked at from the margins, whether it was traveling in a Delhi Transport Corporation bus as a young college-going lad or in the libraries of St. Stephen's College. It fosters a sense of community and shared responsibility, creating a social ecosystem where individuals actively contribute towards collective welfare. But beyond that, it also contributes to a feeling of satisfaction and fulfillment and aids in reassessing the very purpose of our own lives. Despite its intrinsic value, very few individuals embrace public service wholeheartedly due to the challenges and barriers that they encounter on the path. Choosing a public service path often requires personal and professional sacrifice. Individuals may find themselves navigating a delicate balance where the demands of public duty clash with the needs of personal and career pursuits. They may encounter resistance and opposition as their actions may challenge established norms. But that is exactly what each of the lives of the awardees towards our society reminds us. In the face of these formidable challenges, the importance of public service cannot be overstated for community development and growth.
After the Supreme Court has spoken, what is left to speak? But I shall try. Aren't you feeling the presence of the centurion? He's blessing us all. Let's take his blessings. Let me consolidate what many of the speakers have said about my father being his centenary year. Puja Ramkrishna Ji was way ahead of his times. He recognized the value of credibility of the manufacturer or the seller to the customer by following fair trade practices to sustain the business. Honorable Chief Justice of India, as the CEO of the judiciary, our country is eager to see the end of the ills that plague our judicial system. You would agree with that? So, sir, you are a beacon of hope, and we all hope that you will tackle these problems and create the right environment in which we are able to give true justice in time. Fellow dignitaries, the awardees, not only bring smiles to the faces of the downtrodden, but also preempt those from falling into the wrong hands, especially of the antisocial elements. Friends, you will be happy to know that our foundation has reached 7,477 applications. Please join me in giving a thunderous applause to the Honorary Director of our foundation, Mrs. Jamnalal Bajaj. On behalf of our foundation, our heartfelt gratitude to our Honorable Chief Guest, the trustees, Council of Advisors, our 4 selection committees, the awardees, the warriors, Gandhian warriors, the media, hall management, and the entire audience for contributing towards a happy and progressive India. Jai Hind.